Alright, so folks, so this is going to be a video showing some examples of some body and collusion stuff that's happening on Ignition. It's pretty obvious if you play at Ignition that there's some shit going on, but I think some examples help. So anyway, a couple days ago I played a $1,000 tournament on Ignition. I got 4th place, which is pretty cool. But you may be asking yourself, okay, why the fuck are you playing a $1,000 tournament on Ignition if you know that there's botting and collusion happening? Well, last week, like a week ago, there's like the same tournament that happened, another $1,000 tournament or whatever. It had a $75,000 guaranteed prize pool, and in order to reach that, it had to have 75 players that joined. Well, what ended up happening was only about 30 or 40 players joined, so there was an extra about 30,000 bucks in the prize pool, just for free, and the registration ended up closing before anyone else could join. And I was like, well, shit, kind of a missed opportunity there. So I was hoping that I would join this one up and it would happen again. It was looking all right, looking pretty decent. There's about 13 players left with 11 people paid, with 2 minutes left to join. Only about 40 players registered. And then, of course, about 50 or, about 40 or 50 extra people joined in the last 2 minutes. Which, of course, are all just a bunch of colluding botters. Most of them, I would say. So you can see here, this is the final table. Everyone besides number 18 and 25, which is me, are people that joined in the last 2 minutes. And pretty much that means that everyone here is colluding or a bot or something. And you can also see that if I go over here, you can also see in this final table that everyone is has no goddamn chips. It's like a 9 big blind average stack, maybe a 10 big blind average stack going on here. Because the botters just tank for so long that you have no room to play in these tournaments if you make it deep. So anyway, let's go over some hand histories here and see some examples of the type of things that happens when it's filled with colluders. I got about 5 of these hands, and they each show a different part of these people's games. Every hand history I'm going to show you here is going to happen at the final table. I think the only legit guy here is this number 9, is this guy up here with the 9-7 suited. But everyone else here is a colluding botter, basically, essentially. So, you see here the ante is 18,000. You can see here this guy, Jack 8, on the button, has about 50K. So every hand he's losing about 18,000 chips. So he really needs to be shoving this hand right here. It's a pretty hand, right? But anyway, big blind is 120K. We got the big stack here with A6 suited with about 2 million. It's going to fold to him. But he shan't be shoving. That would be silly of him to shove there. But whatever, that's fine, okay. But what about this guy with Jack 8 with about 0.4 big blinds? Wouldn't that be cool if he shoved as well? Like, isn't that kind of the play? But of course, he's not going to be shoving either because they just seem to know that there's someone with ace king that's going to be shoving later. Of course, because they can see everyone else's cards. So, of course, they fold, which with 0.4 big blinds, losing your half your stack every hand to the antes, seems pretty interesting. All right, how about another hand here? Okay. This was the second to last, or this was the last hand before I got knocked out. So there's 4 players left on the final table. I'm under the gun here, and this is the king 5. We're kind of even. The big stack has 4 million, 20 bigs. It's going to fold the big stack. But you know what? He's going to decide that king 7 is probably just a walk for this short stack here. Or not, not a short stack, basically short stack. Yeah, he's a short stack, I guess. But he's shall to be shoving with king 7 here. He's just going to give him the walk. Like a nice guy, Some pretty cool stuff. Let's check out this one here. I got pretty lucky on this one, but this is another thing that they do. You can see here that me and this guy with ace queen, we got about 4 bigs each. He's got 10K less than me, so if we went all in together, he would get knocked out, and get a lower ladder than me. But what they like to do is they like to save a little bit of chips behind when they shove all in, just in case some sort of weird stuff happens where there's like two all ins, I guess. Which, you know, I guess in some cases could be a thing. But when you have ace queen here in this tournament with four, only four big blinds, you just gotta put your stack in there, bro. Like, of course he folds because they're working together, and all they want is to get me out first. It doesn't matter if this guy, if the guy with ace queen gets fifth or fourth place. He doesn't give a shit because it's all the same to them. But anyway, another little hand there, and luckily enough for me, I was able to actually suck out on this guy. But this was actually the last. We'll look at that one last, I guess. Oh, here's a really good one. Four players left. This guy in the big blind, he's got, the big blind is 200K, and he's only got 125K, right? The small blind is 100K, so all the big stack here with 4 million chips needs to do is stick in an extra 25K to knock out and ladder up, but of course, that would be unreasonable. But you can see here some things that they do. It's probably just the bots or whatever. Maybe at this point it's a real player making some choices. Who knows? But they don't, they're not folding like pocket ace. They're not folding ace king. They're making it seem like there's some sort of reasonable doubt to the fact that they could be colluding or something. Like the fact that he has 7-3 here, he's like, oh, you know what? The 7-3 is not a good hand. I'm gonna fold for the extra 25K. Even though it's something that you never do. You would never do this. Of course, he just gets walked in the big blind with like another 25K to go. And I guess we'll watch the hand I get knocked out on. So because of the fact that these guys are not, I'm the last real player left in the big blind here with jacks and like 8 bigs. I have to like go all in, even though ICM wise, I guess it's not even with ICM it can't be that bad with jacks honestly here. But anyway, he shoves with queen 5, even though of course you've seen he likes to fold king 7s, and he likes to fold 7-3s with a 0.25 big blind call, and ended up hitting a runner flush on me and getting knocked out, which is very unfortunate. But anyway, that's just some examples of the type of collusion and stuff happening. All right, thanks.